Yo, 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 you already know who it is.
Ah,
Price, Rob, afternoon stream. Bruh, Migos podcast in the building on Mother's Day.
oh, Mother's Day to the mamas, babies, mamas, and baby mamas.
You know,
Happy. Let me be the last. Let us be the last,
the
like
last.
Chris Berman used to say, to wish you a happy Mother's Day to all of
Mm-hmm.
y'all. Mm-hmm.
Out there, look. And then we gonna get right into it, guys. Look,
Ooh, right into it.
look,
Just
we
like mamas.
look. We gotta get to it, and we gotta get to it fast because you know what it is. It today, Mother's Day, has a lot of eventful things. The NBA draft happened today.
The mother of all
Well, not
draft.
the draft. The draft picks.
The birthing of a pick. The birthing of a first round pick has happened today.
Yes, it
Just like
has.
mamas did. You see how that wordplay goes? You see what I did with that?
And then, can we believe who got this pick, Rob?
Mm.
Can we believe who got this pick?
Ooh, the mother of this country, I guess. The I don't say matriarch because it's a man's world. But yeah, man. Like who got the number one pick, bro?
The Washington Wizards.
Mm.
Can you believe, for the first time in a long time, the worst team in the league got the number one pick?
It's crazy. Like
Just how crazy does it have to be for the worst team in the league to finally get the number one pick? And with that being said, Rob, what do you think? Who do you think they pick? Do you think that they're going with AJ?
nah, man. I was thinking Nate, a man out of Tennessee. I was thinking, Derek Peterson out of Kansas. I was thinking insert name. No, it's AJ Demonasti. Demonasta. You know, I'm out of BYU, man. Nah, man. Just like BYU, the Wizards are soaking in anticipation to basically go ahead and get this pick on into DC. I mean, look, they've been bad, and I was looking on the Wizards roster. It's a lot of people that ain't got more than like 5 years. It's one dude that got, or outside of Trey Young and outside of Anthony Davis, it's one dude that had. And sorry, D'Angelo Russell's on that team too. In case you didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Oh yeah, because that was the Anthony Davis trade.
Yep, part of that.
Uh, there's only like one dude that basically has more than 5 years on this team. So out of the three vets that we basically they got acquired in one trade, like or the two vets that got acquired in one trade and then one in another, yeah, it's only like one dude that has more than 5 years. It's a lot of R's, it's a lot of ones, twos, and threes that basically with experience level. So we're gonna add another rookie.
Yep.
We're gonna add another lottery pick. They got Alexander Sarr on this team. Of course, Anthony Davis and Trey Young are both former lottery picks. Oh, and D'Angelo Russell too as well. So I mean,
Trey Johnson was six.
yeah, I'm gonna believe that was a name. But yeah, like they got a whole bunch of people that basically are on this team that are basically now gonna be clobbered together to basically make a decent squad. And so, is it gonna work out? Sure. I think that a lot of people, like including yours truly, are basically gonna find out the Wizards are still a team and not just a thing that basically shows up on the ESPN bottom line. So it's gonna be interesting. Like I want to see how this all works out, especially if Trey Young and Anthony Davis is gonna be healthy. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna basically be playing. Like I like to see how it works out.
Yes.
So I mean, shoot, add them on. But it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. So what you think about it?
I feel like this coming NBA season is going to be a season where we're going to see two teams that are in the ashes that may rise again, or they may still just stay their ass in the ashes right now. And that's going to be Washington and Utah.
Oh yeah.
Utah has a crap ton of talent that they sat for the remainder of the season. Wink, wink, Adam. I know you was just letting them sit. You trying to get that pick now. Get that pick. Even
Right.
though you did find them and you did find the Pacers at one point for sitting people, you didn't do enough. And tanking is always going to be there. I think whether he wants to admit it or not, it's always going to be there. He can do what he want to do. You can't fight it.
Correct. That is absolutely correct.
But we're gonna see, especially Utah. I want to see how this Utah team, because they had absolute times where I was like, man, they got some damn good talent. And like I'll even say I'm on and off about Ace Bailey, because sometimes it's like, hey, bro, you can figure this jump shot crap out in the summer. Get your young ass to the rim like you was doing in college. You like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Do that. Just do that.
Like, use the athleticism while you still got it. You can be the jump shooter when you basically are um really aging out of here. But nah, man, like, go ahead, get your ass down there and basically, yeah, be D Wade, be what D Wade and Allen Iverson should have been at the late part of their career, at the late part of your career.
Yeah.
But while you here, while you basically young, go ahead slash use that motherfucking body to your advantage.
Yes. But I like I said, Rob, Utah, Washington, two teams to watch to me. Um, and it's some teams that today they played themselves. Um,
Like who?
uh, for one, the people out in New Orleans. But because you took a gamble on where you needed to pick the land, and now Atlanta has you picked. But one that's even more interesting that ran across my mind was Indiana. Kevin Pritchard apologized to the people, and I gotta give him credit that he apologized to the people and said, "Hey, took a gamble.
Fall off me, coach.
My bad, though. My bad." The fact that he said that instead of pulling an ego, I'm proud of him. Now, who may not be proud of him is Tyrese Halliburton and everybody else, but it is what it is right now.
Yeah, because the thing I didn't think about is that now that because they traded wasn't it Matherin that got traded in that Zubac trade? So now that basically, yes, they don't have Miles Turner anymore, and they have a guy that is a really good center and everything like that. But it's like could have used a little bit more depth, especially to get what basically has been lost with Matherin being gone. Maybe they do. Maybe they find a way to find some kind of diamond in the rough, or like they did with what's the dude from Canada that basically was getting in SGA's face in the playoffs.
Dylan Brooks.
No. On the Pacers.
On the Pacers.
It don't matter. But like maybe they could find some more talent, like somewhere, like through something, whatever. But yeah, like it's looking funny for your boys, and I mean we'll see what's gonna happen with the Pacers. But yeah, like Tyrese probably is not too happy about that.
Nah, he's not. Now, with how the position of this draft came out, Washington 1, Utah 2, Grizzlies 3, Chicago 4, Clippers number 5. Let me tell you why that's such an interesting thing to me. We don't know where Kawhi Leonard wants to be.
I mean, we don't know where the NBA where Kawhi Leonard wants to be.
Exactly. So, my question is this, Rob. Kawhi is like 34, okay? Would you be willing to give up a first-round pick if you could have him?
No.
No, flat out no. Two
I mean, it depends on who you're talking about. Because the thing about it is, if you're one of these, like, if you're like I don't say like the Knicks, but like if you're like I'm trying to think of a team that's like a playoff team that's like picking late in the first round, then yeah, like you give up that first rounder for a guy that basically is going to be one of the best players when healthy, that's going to be able to be on the court and one of the strongest players out there. But if you're somebody that's like on the come up, if you're somebody that really needs like depth and you really need young talent to basically supplement what you got, yeah, I wouldn't trade it. But okay, so but who would you want? Who would you think, as far as a team, like that could trade for like their number one pick, or not their number one pick, but a first rounder for say a Kawhi?
It depends upon what direction you want to go. If you want to try to win now, or win within the next 2 to 3 year gap, or be highly competitive, maybe Washington. I wouldn't do it. And I have multiple reasons why I wouldn't do it. The first one is Kawhi's left knee. That would be my first one. His knee that looks like a Decepticon.
Hmm.
Um, and age to me is a thing where because Kawhi has been so injury prone, I wouldn't do it if I was Washington.
Hmm.
I look at the Jazz. I wouldn't do it because my team is still young. You got marketing. You got all of those guys. You got a solid foundation. Now I feel like I wouldn't go there.
So,
Memphis
so,
wouldn't do it.
but I'm not saying like in the lottery. Let's say like a team like the
Ooh,
Hornets,
further down.
who who like a team like the Hornets, who I'm looking at Tankathon right now. It looks like they got multiple first rounders. They're a team that basically just got a taste of the playoffs in within the play-in. I mean, so it's not really the playoffs, but they got a taste of more than just the bullshit that they had. Now you got a team that, granted, um you got Brandon Miller, who's right there, up and coming wing. You got I'm trying to think who they got like the four, um, but you have like a team that basically has a lot of young talent, but a lot of talent that doesn't know what the fuck is going on that can get them to that next step. Would you like to bring in a Kawhi? That, granted, is not like a Chris Paul where he is a guy that basically is very boisterous or whatever. He kind of gets things his way, as we basically gonna see if what happens with all the aspiration stuff.
Hmm.
But he's a guy that essentially has the playoff pedigree. I mean, he's a former Finals MVP with multiple teams. Do you try to basically trade a first round pick, which you have multiple? Would you trade one of those first round picks to basically get a Kawhi?
Possibly. If I can get him to buy in on we're gonna play small ball, then he's probably gonna have to be the four.
Yeah.
Because they could benefit from another good isolation guy
Mm-hmm.
with having such a sharpshooter that came out as a rookie. You got LaMelo. You got Brandon Miller still there. Bridges. You have a lot there. It is
Mm-hmm.
possible. Another team who I could possibly see, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago has two. If they could, let's say, give up 15, the one that they got from Portland,
Mm-hmm.
and get him there, I think that team is young and decently enough defensive with a tall ball handler. That's a I'd say if this guy averaged another 8 to 10 points, we'd be talking about him and Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey's a
Mm-hmm.
triple double. He can go get a triple double. It gives somebody who's gonna create a shot. He can rebound. He can help spread the floor. He's a great passer. I think somewhere like there, maybe even Charlotte would be good. I'd say hell no to Sacramento because that's a shit show over there. Like they have to figure out their Zach LaVine problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another place, as crazy as this might sound, Miami.
That's actually what I was gonna say. Like I was gonna say, like Miami would be the spot that if I'm looking at that 13 spot and I'm like, ain't shit that's gonna really like bolster us right here. Why not just basically trade that to the Clippers, get Kawhi? And this is a big if basically the NBA doesn't void his contract like they did with Joe Smith. So if they basically are like, because that'd be I think Miami's only hesitation with what happened with the Terry Rozier thing
Yeah.
and how they basically did not get their first round pick back from Charlotte to basically kind of make amends with that. Like if they, I think they will be hesitant on giving a first if they think that Kawhi is going to have his contract voided by the Clippers.
So I'll say
And
this.
so, but I would say as far as a place for Kawhi to go because of how they basically uh rejuvenate careers and how they basically get guys and keep guys healthy, that'd be a great place for him.
So I'll say this. I don't think that there's going to be any fire where the supposed smoke of the aspiration shit came from. But Rob, that would be a good spot because a lot of guys say whenever they go to Miami, they get that second run. They got great, they have that great team over there taking care of him. It maybe could help him. And let's be honest, who you scared of on Miami? You playing them in the playoffs?
I mean, they do have a guy that scored 83 points in the game
with 47 free throws. All I'm gonna say is,
what nigga say? I still hit. Like,
yeah,
he still hit.
This is true. But who he did it against? He did it against the team that has currently the number 1 draft pick. Now, granted, it's still a hell of a feat at 83 points. He got it how he got it. But Miami might not be a bad spot. I can tell you, it's a number of places of teams that I would say no. The Kings, no. Brooklyn, no.
The Kings would be a no just because of how bad they are, like you said. But, like, I can see the Kings basically being like, the thing with the Kings are, they're a possum. They eat anything. Like, they don't give a fuck. Yes. Like, no, it don't matter. No, they're more like a snake. Like, a snake will eat anything because it's like, ooh, can I wrap my mouth around it and can I swallow whole? Yeah, is it gonna kill me? Maybe. But, like, fuck it. Like, I still was able to get my motherfucking mouth around that thing. And even though that thing basically it fucked me up in the inside, I still did it. Like that's what the Kings are. Like, they'll swallow up Kawhi, pause, and everything like that. But whether to kill them or not, it don't really matter. They just got to know that they did it, and basically they be like, "Hey, you saw how we got Kawhi, right? You saw how we did that, right?"
Now, the other elephant in the room would be Golden State.
They just weird.
Because Golden State has 11. What would be left at 11? That would be whatever. Because, see, it's so many things up in the air at Golden State because they're saying, we want to bring Kerr back. And
no, they already brought Kerr back. Kerr signed a 2-year deal.
Okay, so look, you got Kerr 2 more years. Are you going to try to bolster this? Or would you give up 11? Nah, I'm not going to lie to you. If they came to me and said, hey, we can take on Kawhi's contract and we'll give y'all 11, I'm not even going to lie to you, Rob. I think if I'm the Clippers, I might ride this out with 5 and 11.
The only reason they won't is because of Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing is, like, I don't think having Jimmy and Kawhi is gonna make a lick of sense.
What if I get rid of him though?
I don't think they can. Granted, it's an expiring deal. I want to say Jimmy's deal is, so if they can basically find a suitor that is really looking to shed a lot of payroll right now, or like say on the trade deadline or whatever, maybe. But that's a lot of payroll to shed.
Yeah,
that'd be the Golden State Warriors been trying to get Giannis. Their eyes and mind have been set on Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see them trying to get either. They're going to your point. I could see them more wanting to give up that 11th pick versus keeping it. Yep. And I think that they're going to try to go after, say, a Jaylen Brown or a Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe like off chance, maybe a Kawhi, but I don't think so. But they're going to try to get somebody.
My only thing about Jaylen Brown is Boston willing to part with him right now? Or are they going to try to give this another run? Is this going to be Tatum's ship 100%? Or do we want both of them still?
To be honest, go ahead.
Me, looking from the outside in, I said this before Tatum came back. I said, somebody going to have to go. The team looked different with Jaylen Brown being number 1. This is not a Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan type dynamic over here. That is not what the hell that is. We knew Mike was A, Scottie was B. It wasn't 1A and 2. It wasn't none of that. I'm alpha, you're beta. If I ain't out here, this is yours. Whenever I'm here, you do your role, I'm going to be the man. It's too much 1A, 1B whenever I look at Boston. And to me, that is always a freaking disaster waiting to happen. And I feel like in this playoffs, and I said this, Boston, you shouldn't start him. Let him run the second unit. Let Tatum have a whole second unit till he get back right. Put him out there with Howes and the rest of them, and let him shoot to his heart content. And let the offense run through him through the second unit. Your first unit looked too good, but what you did, you stuck him back in the starting lineup. The dudes who were putting up weren't putting up no more because they weren't getting the minutes. They weren't balling no more. All of that, these bench guys playing out their mind, all that shit went out the window. It was gone. Just tossed. So now I look at it and I'm like, which one of these guys do I want to keep?
I think it's gonna be October, and we're both gonna be like, "Oh, they still running with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Joe Mazzulla." I think honestly, you're right, but we've been right. Like we've been right until we was wrong when they basically won the championship against the Mavericks, the beaten down Mavericks. But like the thing about it is, generally everybody has been right, to include them. Like Jaylen Brown said this is the best season that he's had, or the most fun that he's had. Which, yeah, when I get to be what I feel like I am, I feel much better, feel much faster, much stronger, much everything, because I can be the dude. The reason why Jason Tatum has been seen as the dude, because he's been doing the dude stuff, and also from
the Lou. You can give me that.
I've been missing a lot on Jason Tatum. Like Tatum's been said a lot. But to my point, the thing is, Jason Tatum has been the guy and been doing the guy things since he basically was a rookie, going at LeBron at the rim in the fucking Eastern Conference Finals. Like the reason why Jaylen Brown has kind of had to be 1B or the quote unquote beta is because he hadn't shown that he basically can be the dude as much as Jason Tatum has shown he could be the dude. And that's it's an unfortunate thing about it. Even though Jaylen Brown was the one that came up in the biggest moments and became the finals MVP when they won the championship, it's still to where you look at Jason Tatum, not just because he's 314, we have a lot of supremacy, but because he basically shown on the court that he can be the one to basically lead and steer a ship to a championship, either winning team or a championship contending dynamo. And so, yeah, you kind of got to basically break it up just to basically be like, you know what? It'd be better if we can add more depth, more flexibility, more everything by trading away to one of these contractual albatrosses to essentially get more depth and more things, even though they did a good job of getting depth and things with what they've acquired in the time that those guys are there. But it's also that it's like, we don't need two Lamborghinis. I only got one ass. Yeah. You know, like I only need this one. I could drive this motherfucker forever. This other one ain't gonna be sitting here. I'm gonna drive it here and there. I only need one though.
And I'm gonna bring up this because they had won the ship and everybody had got paid and they went over the luxury tax because they were so high. Remember, they had to drop Drew Holiday and Porzingis to make sure that they can keep both of them satisfied because of the incoming contracts kicking up. Imagine if you had already shed one of them and you still got to keep your defensive stopper and your 7-foot big man that shoots threes and can block shots and shit. You would have been like, oh shit, I'm right back here. And maybe we don't have those deficiencies that we just seen in the recent playoffs. Like, yeah. Right. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, Rob. But let's kind of scoot along here. Will the Lakers regret the Luka trade? I don't know, bro.
It's like, part of me does. Part of me just feels like, because think about the Luka trade. Like, yes, the person that basically they traded, the asset that they traded away for Luka is now on the Wizards. Basically about to play with the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
The thing though with Luka though is like, is Luka, and granted, like I will be, first taking the on here, but it's like, is Luka the guy that basically could lead you to a championship? And it's hard to kind of put on it because he just got hurt. And granted, injuries happen to everybody. Injuries happen. But the thing that it felt like, and I'll keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, but what it felt like overall was the reason why Luka got traded. And I got nothing to go off. I haven't spoken to anybody, I haven't seen anything. But the thing that I inferred as far as what happened to why Luka got traded was because Nico basically, I feel like, asked the Adelsons to say, hey, we have this guy that's going to get paid a lot of fucking money because he's all NBA every year in the way that the CBA is basically written.
Mm-hmm.
This guy gets a lot of money. Are we going to basically put a lot of money into this guy and not have any level of flexibility if, say, he does get hurt, especially with how he treats his body, with how he does things? Like, are we going to be able to keep this ship afloat and keep going when this guy doesn't, pan out in the way that we need him to pan out? Granted, this is the guy that did lead them to an NBA Finals against the team we just talked about in the Celtics.
Yeah.
And his team was fairly decimated because I think Kyrie got hurt that playoff series or playoff run, everything like that. So he didn't really have as good of a team that he could have had to go against that Celtics team.
Yep.
Be that as it may, with Luka basically his body failing him, which that was one of the reasons why I think the Mavericks took away from him. They were like, hey, we're not going to pay a guy a lot of money to then get hurt and sit, especially when he needs him the most. With this Luka trade being what it is, or with Luka being what he is right now with this playoff run, granted, he had a hell of a season, could have been the MVP. It's, if his body didn't essentially fail.
Yep.
Is it going to be to where the Lakers say, we were better off going what we had, even if we didn't contend, being able to be LeBron James' have his swan song year, move on to whatever else, whether that is a Giannis, whether that is trying to see if we could swindle away Steph and and Draymond from Golden State, which it was going to be an impossibility. But I'm just saying, like, basically, we as the Lakers could have probably tried to get another star after having LeBron and not trying to basically strike while the iron's hot, but strike when the iron's there to basically say, like, okay, let's have Luka right now. Because Luka's not doing much for them right now. He did much for them during the season, especially when LeBron was hurt, especially when Austin Reeves was hurt, whatever. But it's still to where, hey, now you're basically about to get swept. And like we talked about it, instead of it being like a jackknife power bomb from a Kevin Nash, it's about to be a Batista bomb, getting knocked out of the playoffs. This is is this going to be to where, was it 5 years from now, or let's see when the Luka's contract ends? But in the time that Luka's contract basically is going, is it going to be to where the Lakers are going to look back and say, we did the right thing to go get this guy in this time? I don't know. Like it should be to where you go get an all NBA player when an all NBA player is around. But it's like this particular all NBA player cannot stay on the court when he really needs, because even in that Celtics series, I think he started to get hurt or something like that.
And then
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just more wary on if the Lakers basically made the right call overall.
It's one other thing that you're not factoring in too, Rob.
What's up?
No Austin Reeves contract yet.
Boom.
So, and I'll say this. I think that the Lakers are hoping that LeBron, let's say he gets swept, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're hoping after the summer, going into training camp, that he says, I'm not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that that's what they think.
Let me tell you something, brother. That man is going to be playing for you.
So
if you like it or not.
I think that they're hoping that he doesn't come back, because whenever because they have to, if they want to keep Austin Reeves, they have to put the money out. And we know LeBron ain't taking no chump change. We know this.
You know what I think they're hoping for?
What?
Racism. And here's why. They're hoping that even though Austin Reeves, we ain't gonna get to Austin. We're gonna get a little bit to Austin Rivers in a little bit.
That was funny.
We gonna Austin Reeves, prototypical white boy. I think that they're gonna basically see that, hey, even though he could hoop, we gonna hope that basically people gonna look at it as like, do I want to give $50 million to that white boy? Or any white boy? There might be to where it's like, hey, how long can this white boy thing go? All right, look at what we are. Look at where we are. Cooper Flag is doing his thing. Kyle Knipple is doing his thing. It ain't too many white boys that basically are going, like, they can dominate at one time or can basically play well at one time. So do we want to basically put a lot of eggs into this white basket? I think that's what they're hoping, that other teams have that thought. And then they basically lowball them. They think that, oh, you know what? We're not going to try to go after you. Yes, because of the color of your skin. We're going to do it like white cornerbacks. We're going to downplay and be like, you know what? I'm skeptical on what you can be and what your ceiling actually is. And I don't think that I want to basically put a lot of money into you because of what you look like. We're going to discriminate and you're going to deal with it. But that's what it is, son. And I think that that's what the Lakers are really hoping for, that a lot of people have this skeptical mindset and not want to give Austin Reeves his money that he deserves, because he's been balling his ass off. And he looks like a 1980s, like, not hoop dreams, white man can't jump-ish player. Like, he looks like
Billy Ho 2.0?
Like his friend. Like, there's just not him, not Billy Hoyt 2.0, but just like Billy Hoyt's homie. That's what, because I couldn't think of Woody Harrelson's name in that movie. But like, they looking at him like he is just the add-on that came with him to the court. That's what they're hoping. Like, everybody has this skeptical mindset and don't give this man his money, so we can give him his money. Give him money at least at a lower rate than what everybody else
could be.
Would have gave it.
Could be. That could be the way to go. Now, I see that we had discussed this in our group chat that you said, what about a Giannis for Jokic swap? Do you think that could really work?
Yes, because it went in the trade machine. But yes, also because, okay, here's why I brought it up. So, if you guys remember last year, Stan Kroenke, fuck Stan Kroenke, first of all, on behalf of St. Louis. Stan Kroenke, who's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, who basically was like, well, if Luka's playing next year, I'm mixing white people up everywhere. That's racism. The Denver Nuggets, let me start over. The Denver Nuggets owner, Stan Kroenke, last year said that Nikola Jokic may or may not be on the team next year, which basically got a lot of people's ears poking up. And so when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? You have one owner that basically said, I don't know if this player is going to be on my team. And then fast forward to right now, or last week, you had one of the Bucks front office people, I think it was either the GM or the owner, basically said, no, it was Jimmy Haslam, who's part of the ownership group with the Bucks, who said that Giannis may not be on the Bucks next year, or he's on the Bucks now, but he may not be on the Bucks next year. So I was thinking, you got two people that are in ownership that are basically hesitant to say that their cornerstone pieces are going to be with each other. So I was thinking let me bust out a name for you. It was the 60s, and basically you had two players. No, sorry, it was the 70s. You had two players, Mike Kitch and Fritz Peterson. They basically hashed an idea because they were very close and they were with each other, or they were, be with each other with the Yankees and everything like that in 1972. They hashed an idea to swap families. Because usually people say it's a wife swapping situation. It actually swaps families. Like, Kitch basically went with Peterson's family. Peterson's family, which with Kikic, it's Kikic. So I'm thinking it's going to be more of a swap situation where, hey, look, I got this person that I'm really not as much into in the Bucks, and the Nuggets said I have this person that I'm really not much into, which is Jokic, whatever. Maybe they do like a whole just swap situation and say, let's go ahead and swap, our cornerstone pieces. They get a new lease on life. Cream City has a white boy that they can basically be with, who basically looks like a bottle of milk. And then the Nuggets have a mountain of a man that they could basically be around. They're both the same age, so it ain't like, oh man, I'm getting, hey, this person this age, this person. They're both 31. So hey, and they're both MVPs. They're both final MVPs. Everything. Why don't they just do something like that? It worked in the trade machine. MVP swap. I think it could work. Like I think you basically get to where, all right, we may not be better. Let's say both sides basically say, you know what? If I'm the Nuggets, I'm better defensively. I have a battering ram of a human being that basically I can build around. Mm-hmm. But and I have a pick and roll piece with Giannis and Jamal Murray and everything like that. Like just swap those two. And then if I'm the Bucks, I have this huge white boy that basically throws the ball everywhere. Reminds everybody of when Kevin Love was back with Minnesota, having that kind of Midwestern kind of dude that basically just throws the ball everywhere and, possibly never makes playoffs. But you basically have somebody that, you can build around and say, all right, this guy can make my team better. I'm just, saying, who would either side say no? I don't think so. Because I think each side will basically be like, you know what? We're not going to have like a Luka trade kind of situation where we're trading this big, huge cornerstone piece for absolutely nothing, or a busted nothing, or a busted used to be something.
I can see that.
Like this is something where both sides can basically be like, you know what? That works.
I can see
that works.
I also see this being something absolutely crazy. I think probably, some way, some shape, how. I think Aaron Gordon is gonna wind up biting the dust in Denver. I think that's gonna be the place to get the hell up out of there. And I'll say this: I also see, and this may be the one. Kawhi might end up over there.
Or
in Denver.
Really?
Yeah.
You can see him ending up in Denver. Like,
oh yeah.
So what's the makeup? Are you saying it's gonna be like
him, Jamal, and Jokic,
and Aaron Gordon getting out there?
Oh yeah, Aaron Gordon got it. Aaron Gordon is gonna be part of the scapegoat for this, regardless. He's going because of his lack of playing, which the problem is Kawhi has been available. What better way to take the load off of Kawhi if you got this huge white guy that can facilitate and shit, and he can play 30-something minutes a night, and he has a sidekick, and we just need you to chip in and play defense and be there. That could be the move for them. I'm thinking Kawhi, or this is a long shot. I haven't done the math in all of it. Golden State is going to figure out how to get up off of Jimmy Butler, and he's going to end up in Denver or somewhere, probably maybe even in a Clippers uniform. I think that because we due for a wild one. We're due for a doozy.
Like a wild trade.
One of them 3 teams or 4 or 5 teams. It's something coming down the pipeline that's gonna be something ridiculous that we all gonna say, huh? And it's just gonna be there, and we're gonna be like, okay, I guess.
I don't think the Golden State Warriors are coming off, or I don't think they're gonna be able to get off Butler's contract. I honestly don't. I'm not optimistic on that.
I know one thing: they are big on Giannis. So if they can make the Giannis move, I want to see what the hell it is. Just show me your magic trick that I want to see, because if you can pull this off and land Giannis in Golden State, I'll be like, touche. It'd be like, I was wrong.
Yeah,
you made this happen. Now, Draymond, Chuck, and the sin of sure. Rob, those two going back and forth on live TV, and then him saying that he's trying not to look like Chuck in his last couple years as a Rocket. So, couple things. Couple things I want to do first. Now, how did you feel whenever Draymond said that?
So I remember like this was in like they were showing Congress and everything like that, and they basically said it was like a guy said that something was said. He's like, "I struck a nerve, didn't it?" You could see like with Draymond, it's whatever it was, it struck a nerve. Like it because one thing is Chuck said like, "Hey, teams get old, teams get busted. This happens, you know." And the first time like he said it, it was like Draymond was like, like yeah, that it happens, whatever. And then it was like Chuck said it again. And it was just like he was kind of going back to it, and that's why Draymond said what he said. But it was like you could see that like Draymond was either trying to be funny, or it was just like, oh, his feelings got hurt because he was like the way he said it. He was just like, hey, I'm not trying to look like you were with the Rockets. Which Kenny was like, what does that look like? He's like, you saw it. To which I'm looking at Chuck's like time with the Rockets. First year he went 19 and 10,
right?
Or 19 and 9.5 rebounds. Next year, 15 and 11. 8 rebounds.
No, 11.
Oh no, I looked at it wrong. Actually, the first year, no, I looked at it wrong. That was offensive rebounds. Yeah, no. First year, Chuck went 19 and 13.
Yep.
Second year, he went 15 and 11. So, next year, we went 16 and 12. And the year after that, this last year, which he got hurt, he like tore his quad and then came back at the end of the season. He went 14 and 10.
Okay.
And Chuck is not the biggest dude. He's 6'6", so he's not like the tallest, like what you would think as far as like. I thought Charles Barkley was 6'10" until basically until like a few years ago. I thought he was like 6'10".
Yeah, he's always been short. Round amount of rebound. So
right.
With you spitting out those numbers, okay? Chuck has averaged 14 points twice in his life. One was his rookie year, okay? And then one was the last year, okay?
Right.
How many times do you think Draymond Green has averaged 14 points a game?
Twice?
Wrong. Once. And that is the year, the 15-16 year, okay? That is the last time Draymond Green has averaged double digits 4 years in his entire career. All of them came from the 2014 to 2018 run. Over a 4-year span, he averaged double digits. And that was 11, 14, 10, and 11. And at no point during his career, Draymond playing a 4 and a 5, has ever averaged double-digit rebounds.
Okay. The reason why I it's like because I remember people bringing that up as a thing, and I understand bringing it up as a thing when it comes to what Draymond had to do, or comparing himself to Chuck.
Yeah.
Which, yes, I get that as being a sticky point. I think that Draymond's career to what is the alpha to all of this, which is he basically didn't really have to do all that. Like what Draymond was basically saying, or what got clipped, and which was what they were talking about, was that essentially saying that he said that Steve Kerr stunted his career, or basically, like he stunted his career. To which he said basically he would have possibly had a better career if it wasn't for him playing with the Warriors, which everybody said bullshit, which I can get to a degree. Would Draymond be a better player if he hadn't played for the Warriors? Me personally, which I say is a sentence, sure. I'm like, sure. And the reason why I say that is because I think what Draymond's thing is, I think Draymond thinks that he probably doesn't average, or he averages more than 14 points a game if he basically played on another team. And I think the reason why I say sure is because if you basically put him with Team X, and he is a guy that is there to basically play the game. Say you put him on a Bobcats team. You put him on one of those shitty Kings teams. You put him on X team that basically has nothing there, like kind of like what Chuck says, looter and a riot. You put him on any one of those teams, yeah, he might average 16, but it's empty calories. It doesn't make him a better player.
Yeah.
It just makes him a better statistic player where people aren't coming at him saying, you only average this and you talking about this man. Because I think what the issue what Charles had is that he never played on a team that had two really should be top 75 players, even though Klay Thompson is not a top 75 player. He should be.
Yeah. Look crazy.
But you playing on a team with two surefire Hall of Famers. Chuck didn't really have that opportunity, whether he was playing with the Sixers, whether he was playing with the Phoenix, or playing with Phoenix.
I think Dr. J and Moses Malone, he had them at one time, but they were getting old.
Yeah, not at the time that basically. So like if I look at say Charles' rookie year, like that Sixers team, like they had you had Julius Erving, which was in year 13.
Mm-hmm.
You had, Mo Cheeks year 6, and you had Moses Malone, who was year 10. Like, it wasn't like, and that was after, Moses Malone was playing in the ABA.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. J too. But you have those guys, like you said, more closer to the end of their career than at the jump, where Draymond was essentially on.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the thing is, like, I think that Draymond thinks that, yes, he would have been a better player to Draymond's standards. I don't think Draymond would have had a greater career. Because when we say best and great,
yeah,
like great is like your superlatives, your accolades. Best is, I guess, your stats, your standing in the league or whatever. Would Draymond be a better player, more useful player, more scoring player if he's on a shitty team? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, possibly.
That's what I say. Sure, like it's like if he's on the Magic team and he scored 20 a game and they win 20 games a year, yeah, probably. But with the Golden State Warriors, with what he had to do on that team, yeah, he shouldn't score that much more because his role was to be a cleanup guy.
Yep, pick setter.
His role was to be a fixer. Like his role was to basically be there so that Steph can basically be an MVP, so that Klay can be what should be a top 75 player and a Hall of Famer. That was Draymond's role. Like Draymond's role wasn't to be a scorer. It's like basically if you putting up Dennis Rodman's stats, like his point totals. It's like your job, that wasn't his job. Yeah. But to that point, for him, but Draymond was so damn. What I say is also the sin of sure. Draymond was so damn sure that people would think Chuck sucked as a Houston Rocket, that people wouldn't basically say it and people wouldn't come back at it and basically be like, no, my nigga, he was much better than you at any point of his career, which he was as a player. Like Charles Barkley is the better player than Draymond Green. Draymond Green had the better situation than what Charles Barkley had. And if Charles Barkley had that situation, he probably would have been Draymond Green. Yeah. Or there would have been a possibility that he'd be Draymond Green because of his size and his ability to play, a lot of things. But he wouldn't have been a 25, 26, 27 point scorer also.
But he might have been 17, 18 with double-digit rebounds and maybe a few blocks. You never know.
Maybe.
But I also say this. Draymond has to be careful who he's picking fights with. Because he's picking... You have the rings, but you're more of a Robert Horry situation than than a Charles Barkley or a Michael Jordan. You were an integral piece. I'm not gonna lie, you were an integral piece. But were you the reason? Like 100%?
I think I said and I'll keep saying it. He was the second most important player on that Warriors team in that
Yeah,
Warriors dynasty.
yeah.
Like as far as the common denominators you have Steph and Draymond.
Yeah. You can definitely make an argument for that. But whenever he throws himself out there like he like he's that dude, it's like, I understand, big dog, you got them rings.
The thing is, he tried to make a fight, and his fight just didn't work. And that's really what it is. He tried to fight back because his feelings got hurt. That's really what it is. Everybody know. And I think Draymond, if basically Charles isn't coming at him, probably doesn't say some shit like that. But the thing about it is he got his feelings hurt and he tried to fight back. And his fight back was just like, because it was just like, nah, dude, you boxing gods here. Like Charles is one of the best players ever. He's on that top 75 list with you, but he was on that top 50 list before you.
And
like that man, he's a motherfucker.
People forget Charles had the best record in the league whenever he got to Phoenix, and then got smacked by Black Jesus whenever he got to the finals. It's just, look, I've said it a million times. That motherfucker who wore 23 was just, he was a no. I love him, but I could see if I was on the outside having a fight. I'd be like, hey, bro, I'm tired of fighting this thing, man.
And but even then, like you say, he got smacked. It went to 6 games. It went 6. So I mean, he went again. He won the MVP.
Yep.
Went at Black Jesus.
Yep.
And basically was 2 games away from winning it all.
Yeah.
So I mean, Chuck is a motherfucker. But I think that because I know somebody else made the point about it. They as in the inside of NBA folks. Whether you talk about Kenny Smith, talk about Shaq, the guys who actually won rings, they kind of go at Chuck for not winning one. Yeah. Even though Kenny Smith put it in the great terms, he's like, you're a winner that never won.
Yeah.
Even though Chuck would he bristles at that, but it's like, it's the truth. He is a guy that basically is one of the best players that have ever played this game. He just didn't win a ring because not everybody wins one. Because you go against Black Jesus, who is better than you.
It's the luck of the draw, bro. Look, you ran into a dude that, he had 2-3-peats, but the guy was a psychopath on the basketball court. And it's hard to beat people like that. That's dedicated to it. It's hard to beat a motherfucker like that, Rob. You know this because everybody said it. He was blowing steam once he got on the court. He was motivated out the ass, and Patrick Ewing even said it. It was hard to beat this dude. This dude was just, we were motivated, but he was even more motivated. Like you said, Charles is a winner that just never won. Look who you face.
Right.
I understand Draymond's argument and what he was going at and how he kind of went at Chuck. It's like you look, you stepped out of one league and went into another league, boxing with the guys who were better than you.
Mm-hmm.
But Draymond was Defensive Player of the Year. He had things like that. Like you said, second most important person on that Warriors team. It's Steph, then him. It's Steph and then him. And it's that simple. Steph, him, and then you could throw Clay in them. And you could say, hey, Clay deserves to be top 75. Everybody in that Warriors franchise had a part to play at times. Whether it's Jordan Poole on the backside championship, where he stepped up, or whether it's Iguodala and Livingston in the first couple. It happens. And look, hey, people, it was a time where even people have even said this. If Mike might have played, he might have won 8 straight. Because it was 3. He took a couple years off. The Rockets say, give me them 2. And then he came back and it was like, what Rockets?
Yep.
And he got 3 more. Hey, people you like to say that all the time, and it is a possibility. He might have won 8 straight. He was that dude. Patrick Look, it's guys that I like Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson, and they never sniffed the light of day because you had to fight him. You had to fight him.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be real with you. In the basketball world, Michael Jordan was Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and Mike Tyson in one. because, because he wasn't gonna not let you fight him, okay?
Yeah.
It was gonna be like, hey, we're boxing today. And then if you said, nah, we not, then he turned into Tyson. I'll pick you apart. There's nothing that you can do. And then that it was over after that. It was like, look, bro, I ain't want to smoke like that, bro. You had to come on.
Like my fault, my fault.
Damn. But hey, Draymond, look, you live me. Not to mention him arguing with Austin Reeves. I mean, not Austin Reeves, Austin Rivers.
See?
I wish they would play 1-on-1 because I think Austin Rivers might get it about him. I think Austin Rivers
Yeah,
might get it about him.
maybe, and he might. But the thing though was it was just like it was a weird fight for them to both be in. Because the thing with Draymond and it's like I like kind of what Draymond is. Draymond's too goddamn serious. I think the part that I think that, and it's gonna fuck him up as he's trying to basically get like going like with his BD career. He's too goddamn serious, and I think that he gets too emotional, and he gets to where he can't bring the kind of like finesse to certain arguments. Because even with the river shit, it was like, I'm just better than you. I got this. I got this. Like, that's all you got, dude? Like, superlatives?
Have you ever watched the Draymond and Skip Bayless interview?
Uh,
I want you to go watch it because I will say this. It's a different side of him that I saw whenever him and Skip were sitting there versus what I saw the other day picking with Austin Rivers them. And I'm like, if you could be that dude that you were with Skip, whenever you go in the media, you can have a great career. But you can't be the dude that you are with Austin Rivers now and
yeah.
think that they're going to let you last. Granted, you're going to probably have a long career than Jason Whitlock because they kind of swept him off. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Coon be gone.
Yeah, Coon be gone is right. But
Did I say that out loud?
I ain't got no problem saying it out loud because I know how he is. He's one of them. I'd trip him if I saw him going there. I mean, you gonna be
I don't
all
know.
right.
I'd be worried about my fucking foot being basically covered with the fudgy ooze that he has.
Don't worry.
Like
I'm
I
gonna
want to
bleach
sully
my foot
myself.
after I stick it out. I'm going to bleed. Don't worry. I'm gonna get rid of that. But a little bit more basketball, and then we're gonna jump into WWE. Rob, I witnessed something today that should be outlawed in basketball states everywhere. Okay?
Did you now?
I saw BTA in the city of brotherly love. The 180. First of all, I'm gonna start with Boston. The
Go ahead.
downfall of the Boston Celtics to the 76ers should be studied this season. Because I don't know, even with Jason Tatum being out and things like that, I was like, they can still win this. Embiid is not. Look, he just had appendicitis. You can whoop a man. Look, give him a little elbow right there. You make right. Like, look, the Knicks did it to him. In like game 1, game 2, they made him sit down a nice little minute.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to get your ass back. But they come back from 3-1 against Boston, win, and then get BTA to get put out of the playoffs in their home side. Well, at least they ain't had to worry about going nowhere. They saved the team some airfare and stuff like that, travel arrangements.
I mean, it's a beautiful time in Tulum.
I'm just saying, but they got whipped. Look, they got beat by 39 coming in the series, and then took an exit beating again with another 30. I can't explain what happened.
Neither you or I. Neither you or I, my friend.
I was like, Philly may not win this, but they gonna peel one up off. They gotta peel one, at least one. They said none. They said we ain't got none. I like none. They said none. Zero.
Zero.
But it is crazy. The Knicks NBA postseason record 11 3-pointers in the first quarter. 11. They had 33 from the 3-point line just the first quarter. I think they finished with 43 in the first quarter. They had 81 at halftime.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. And then they scored another 63 on the backside.
Ooh, everlasting ass whooping.
Look, what happened shouldn't look. This needs to be studied. This needs to be studied. All of the starters, double digits. McBride 25, Jalen Brunson 22, Mikal Bridges 12, Hart 17, Cat 17. No OG, no OG Anobi. Even Landry Shaman came off the bench in 11 minutes, got 12 points.
Ooh, gangsta party.
Embiid, now granted, he did shoot a perfect game with 24 points. Wasn't enough. Maxey 17, 6-16. This was a beatdown. This was a Benadryl beatdown, and they told him, you take this nap right here at your house.
Sleep.
And we gonna lock the door on the way going out.
Wake up in October.
Look, you can get back up in October whenever it's safe to come outside.
Ooh, yeah, enjoy football season.
But it was bad. But the fall of the Philadelphia 76ers needs to be studied.
Ooh, I mean, does it need to be studied? Because we talked about your boy playoff P or regular season urine, whichever one
7
you want to call.
points today. 7 points. After he had been looking good the past few games.
He saw it right on the wall and was ready to go. It's okay. But no, I mean they gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do about Embiid. Kind of like the Celtics situation where you have these guys that you can see like, hey, you're kind of in the way. You kind of need to be moved elsewhere. I don't really need you here anymore. Why are you still here? And I think that they're going to try to figure out they can come up off Paul George, they can come up off Embiid, and or both. I think they're going to try to figure. That's going to be their number one priority. Probably not out loud, but at least somewhere in the bowels of Philly, they're going to basically figure out, okay, how are we going to get up off these two? Because I don't know. Like they look at I can see them being like, we got Tyrese Maxey, and BJ Edgecombe. I think we're at least got a good start. Everything else needs to flow around them. How do we get these two guys out the way?
I don't know, but I know one thing: Playoff P had double-digit points throughout the playoffs. Up till the day, 7 points. He said, I'm mailing it in. We going home anyway. I'm going to the crib.
He's like, look, I'm ready to go. The podcast mic is calling me. Like, I need to get out of here.
He going to be dropping a new episode this week. He going to be like, I kind of miss being sitting on this sofa.
Ah, man, this is where it's really at. Yeah.
This is real comfortable right here. It's real comfortable right here. I got AC and I got snacks in the fridge and whatnot. And
I got those silly playoffs in the way.
And look, I can turn on any other playoff game while I'm home, man.
And talk about them.
That's all that's happening for him. It is what it is. Look, Philly, start rebuilding. Maxey, Edgecombe. I like Oubre. You got some young talent there. Even though you gave up McCain.
Yeah. But they got a first round pick for him.
Yeah. They did get a first round pick. So that works. It works. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But dang it, you got to figure this out now. Because Embiid, it ain't what it is. I know you want to trust the process. But just as quick as the process gave you trust in the first series, he said, I ain't got it. He said it was all a facade. It was me putting on. I told you I had it, and then I lied. Yeah, that's all it is. Now, moving on. We gotta talk WWE. Rob, you know, there was a guy that I told you a couple weeks ago that I liked what they were doing with him, and you were like, eh. And now I see you are on my side of liking what they have done with Danhaussen. So go ahead and speak for the audience and tell them how you like the Danhaussen stuff.
So what would Danhausen's like hive be? Would it be like the Munster Mash?
I have
The
no clue.
whose house? Danhausen's house? I don't know. Either way. Yeah, man, like if y'all ain't watched Backlash yesterday, you didn't miss anything. I know, the homie Visky, who is on assignment. He basically said that it felt like a SmackDown, or like Raw, but I don't know. It was all right. Like the matches that you could see that they were placed as more long form matches. It felt like if you basically pulled together the main events of like a bunch of Raw and SmackDowns, I would say it was like that. But Danhausen had his match because, of course, you had Danhausen and his mystery against Kit Wilson and The Miz. It was a nice match. I liked it. It was a fun little match. Like, I know people were like, "Oh, it's not what wrestling really is." Is it like? First of all, it was. Granted, let me give spoiler alert. Danhausen's mystery partner was Mini Danhausen. He was a whatever term you want to use, whether it's midget, little person, dwarf. He was a guy. He was a guy shorter than most guys, and he was a guy that basically he was good in the match. Like, they worked. It was a long match too. It felt like a long match with a lot of hijinks, and Kit Wilson basically put Mini Danhausen in the cloning machine because Mini Danhausen came out of a cloning machine. He put him in there, to which more Mini Danhausen, similar to what happened in WrestleMania, came out and were cloned and basically jumped Kit Wilson.
Which was hilarious.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I loved it. You had a bunch of people who was like, "Oh, this is a joke," and this is that. So here's the thing. Because formerly Aiden English, I can't remember his name now. But he basically pointed out that, yeah, this thing derives from a circus. The pro wrestling as itself did derive from the circus. With that, you did have serious pro wrestling, like the Carl Gotches and those kind of guys. And then you had the fun pro wrestling, or the more fun pro wrestling that was less serious, where you had the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and all those kind of guys. Or, sorry, Gorgeous George. That's what I mean to say. The Gorgeous Georges of the world. Who, the reason why if without Gorgeous George, you wouldn't have Muhammad Ali, and we probably wouldn't have Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Because Muhammad Ali, the reason why I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, all those things was from the theatrics of, or inspired by, Gorgeous George. So you had those sides of pro wrestling. So you had the serious sport sanctioned by the local athletic commission kind of pro wrestling. Then you had the fun shit. Like, that's what pro wrestling has always been. It's always been a mixture of both. And to say one side is more superior or what should be, it's kind of takes away what the history of pro wrestling was. Like, if you ever read David Shoemaker's book, can't remember what the title is, but he had a book about pro wrestling. It tells you about like all like where it came from, like the traveling circus and this guy wrestling a bear or whatever it was. That's what pro wrestling always was. It's always been a sideshow. And so Danhausen, with everything that he did, was just an extension of the sideshow. And it was fun. Like, it was overall fun to see basically those guys work. Miz and Kit Wilson did a great job as far as like with the match. And to be honest, it was the only thing that I really remember from that event. Like, the other shit, like Brian and Seth Rollins, it was good. Sammy and Trick was good. Can't remember the other match. I watched most of Roman and Jacob Fatu, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the Danhausen and the mini Danhausen is what I really went by and I really like absorbed. It just was more interesting and fun. And let's talk about the John Cena Classic right quick, because I saw that got a bunch of people like riled, or not riled up, but basically like, I don't like my American Idol with my pro wrestling. It's different. I don't know how it's gonna be, and I'm more optimistic on it than pessimistic, and mainly being because it's like it's different. Where instead of it being like a tournament where the winner is actually decided in the ring, this is more decided outside of the ring. It's really more decided by the fans, which, interesting enough, it's kind of where it's like, why wouldn't, especially a guy like John Cena, why wouldn't it be to where you wanted something like that? Because think about John Cena and think about what people said about John Cena. He's pushed down people's throats. Everybody hated it. This way, you're actually picking the people, the fans are actually picking who they like, who they want. So instead of it being, hey, management just driving this person down our throats, it's the people deciding who is the actual winner of the match.
And
I don't see what's wrong with that.
I personally don't have anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with it. And I'm going to explain why. This John Cena Classic is going to give us something different. They took the 24/7 championship from us, which I thought was gold. You thought it was gold. A lot of people thought it was gold. It's still some of the most viewed stuff that's on WWE's page. It's something that, I feel like this is maybe something that could be popular along the lines of that, and I'm hoping that it is. Because I'll be real with you, some of the comedic stuff that we miss from wrestling is being brought back kind of with Danhausen. Okay, it's kind of, he's another version of R-Truth, if you want to say, a comic relief type person, and it's needed. It is needed, because let's be real, and I want you to be real with me and the people right now. How good did you feel Backlash was?
Overall, it was okay. Like, it was fine.
So if you had to grade it, a C?
C.
Okay.
Solid C.
So this is what I'll say. Not only do I feel like you feel with the C, I feel like this. I feel like Backlash was one of those pay-per-views that they just gave us, and we were like, this is okay. It's okay. And it had better comedic shit that happened in it that entertained us more than actually even enjoying the wrestling outside of the Roman shit, That was what it was. But with that being said, now WWE, that you see that the comic relief is needed, now you need to rethink how we put together some of these things. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think outside of Roman, let's say majority of the people said the Roman match was the thing to watch. I think a majority of us would say the Danhausen was probably the second best thing to watch, because it was nothing else there that made me say, oh my God, Backlash was so good. I remember Roman and I remember Danhausen. That's it. Danhausen and Kid Wilson, because this was extremely funny, and I thought to myself, whenever he put him in there, I said, the only thing would make this funnier is if more midgets came out there. As soon as that happened, I said, I'm done. Look, I was like, Roman and them are going to have to out-wrestle this now. They got out-wrestle this because this has been more entertaining than anything else that you've thrown in front of my eyes so far tonight. That's it. So now, WWE, I ain't saying you got to rent out a grocery store and have two people have a brawl in it, which we would probably be all for it. Just saying. But we need to have some sort of comedic times. We need to see the interaction outside of what just is the WWE arena itself. Because if you notice, Rob, and I'm going to throw this out there, We don't have too many parking lot brawls.
Unless it's NXT.
Yeah, unless it's NXT. We don't have too many people getting their ass whooped outside. We don't have too many people
Or
getting
in
thrown in
bars.
lakes or in bars or segments in bars and stuff like that. I watched. There's a stream that runs on YouTube, and it constantly plays Attitude Era and stuff like that. And I noticed something. It's a lot of outside crap that happened outside the ring that gave substance to shit that happened inside the arena and in the ring that was funny, or it was very entertaining, or they had segments with crap that was bad, like the APA. I'm gonna use them as a segment. Do you remember the door?
Oh yeah, that's what I love. Like, hey, knock on the door.
Yeah, people had to knock on this door. Okay,
That
they were serious brawlers, but that little aspect of them making you knock on this goddamn door, hilarious.
For the people that don't know, the APA, they would set up backstage, and that backstage would be an open bay area, and they would set up a door that would just be there, and they would basically say, "Hey, if you're gonna come, make sure you knock on the door," and the door would be just there. It would just be a door, like, and like, hey, don't walk around that door. You gotta knock on that door to come in.
And not to mention that, do you remember whenever they locked themselves up and they went around and got the key, he came back? It's things like that.
Just little shit.
Yeah,
but
just little stuff.
But don't no. Here's the thing though. Because I know what you're gonna say. Creative don't do. People don't like that shit. And that's the when we get back to the because that was part of the thing that AEW was supposed to be the love letter to wrestling, everything. They were supposed to be like that Carl Gotch because they were supposed to be the Carl Gotch motherfuckers that don't like the APA shit. They thought it was too silly. They don't like silly shit. People don't like silly shit. And it's the reason with the 24/7 title. Because remember, when the 24/7 title started coming around, it was people like, oh, this is just a joke. This is just a gimmick, blah, blah, blah. You need that stuff to be in there. But the thing about it was, like, you need people to want to have that shit there because the thing is, you're going to have so many I don't like fun motherfuckers that basically say, I don't like that shit. And then that shit doesn't get in there. And so then basically, okay, well, we can't have that because the fans don't like it. When fans like that shit, it's the loud squeaky wheel. And the problem is the loud squeaky wheel has been the people that's those Carl Gotch motherfuckers. I keep saying Carl Gotch because I can't remember the other name that I was gonna say. Yeah. But those motherfuckers that basically like that serious shit that when it does have fun, it's fun on their terms, but they like that shit. And when the funny shit comes around, they're like, I don't like that. I don't get it. Da, da, da. That's the thing. It has to be absorbed by the fans, and it has to be to where we're loving it. Even though we do, but it's the other side that basically is not fucking with it. And that's the problem.
Some of you people need to learn to have fun in life.
I mean, get some goddamn whimsy in your life.
Just a little bit. Now, that being said, we're about to wind down the show, but before we go out, Rob has something to say about Ted Turner. Rest in peace.
Yep. All right. So, if in case you guys didn't know, Ted Turner, former owner of the Braves, owner of Turner Broadcasting Station, so TBS, TNT, Turner. I can't remember that, but either way, Turner, they own TNT, TBS, CNN, all those different things. He passed away this week. Really interesting dude. One of the, eccentric billionaires of what they call, like going back to old WWF days. McMahon used to run the billionaire Ted things because he was snatching up the Macho Man and Hogan and all those kind of guys and stuff like that to go to WCW. But the thing about it was Ted Turner was about that shit. Ted Turner was about not only pushing the envelope, but essentially like being out there. Like he wanted to basically have, when back in the day, because kids, back in the day, TV used to go off. And when I turned the TV off, there used to be no TV at times. So nothing on TV, nothing playing. It was literally like after a set time, no kind of program would go. It would just be either static or it'd be like basically like nothing. And so Turner wanted to have the news on 24/7. Back in the day, the news would come on at its set time, whether it's 5, 6, and 10, and then no more news until the next day.
Yep.
He wanted it to be to where if you were basically coming home, because that's what it was with him, you would come home and the news already be off. He wanted it to be to where you could see the news at any time and know what was happening wherever about whatever. So he developed CNN. He also basically gave $1 billion to the UN to basically have billionaires and everything like that. He also give to UN. He also created WCW, created all these things. I say all that to say this. The thing about Ted Turner, even though he was a billionaire, he had all this money and everything like that. He was somebody that pushed the envelope and actually challenged people to be better. You challenged billionaires to basically put more money into UN, so basically more people can have more services and have more aid to the world populace. He pushed for WCW, not just for competition, but he also basically gave guys opportunities, gave guys a lot of money, all these kind of things. He pushed the envelope and he challenged people to be better, or at least to be better than him. So what I basically say is it's Mother's Day. We got a lot of people out there that need to basically do things to challenge others to be better than them, to basically push the envelope and basically make this world a better place. So be the better place for moms, be the better place for wives or whoever, to basically make this whole thing better. So be at least not, you might not have the money that basically Ted Turner had, but you can have the energy that he brought in to basically make this whole thing better. So I just basically say I challenge y'all to basically be better as people, to just like Ted Turner tried in his lifetime to make things for better for people.
Yep. Be a great person. Challenge yourself. Be a better person. Be great. And on one lighter note before we get up out of here, kids, always remember protect your face, like Craig Albanese of the Orioles. Because remember, after a broken jaw, you gotta watch your face after that.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yep, protect yourself at all times, kids. With that being said, we'll catch you guys. Remember, Bro Amigos podcast. Me and Rob on Blue Sky. We're tweeting. We're out there talking about stuff. We're blue sky. We're sending shots in the sky.
We're everywhere. Like
yeah, we're everywhere. Remember.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep, 2 channels. The Bro Amigos live channel, plus we have the other Bro Amigos channel that's also up. Remember, if you got ideas or anything that you want to say, hit us.
Curse us out.
Yep. Hey, go ahead, leave a comment. Let us know what's going on in your mind. But with that being said, we out.